Hello everyone, welcome back again to the channel today. If today is your first time being here, kindly hit on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. And if you're already a subscriber, don't forget to turn on the notification bell and as well like, comment and share. So in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to draft a basic pencil dress with a pencil sleeve. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching and let's get started. Now that we have already set out our pattern paper, the first thing is to draw a starting line, which is going to be our shoulder line. From my shoulder line here, I measure down to 10 inches for my bust point and 15 inches for my waistline, and then I marked it and draw a straight line across those points. The next measurement will be from my shoulder to my hip line, and I'm going to make a mark and also draw a straight line across. So now I'm going to measure how long I want my pencil dress length to be. So from my shoulder, I measure it down to 38 inches, and this now is going to be my hemline. After that, I'm going to draw a straight line across, and then I'm going to go ahead and label those lines. So this is my bust line, my waistline, my hip line and my hemline. Now coming down to my shoulder line, I'm going to go ahead and divide my shoulder measurements into two equal halves. My shoulder measurement is 15, and that divided by 2 is going to give me 7.5, and then I'm going to make a mark. Now coming from the point, I'm going to come down by 1 inches and connect it into the shoulder line. The next thing is to determine my armhole depth, and for that I normally divide my bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it. So I have 7.6 for mine, and then I made a point. So after this, I'm going to rule a line across and then rule a straight line to join the shoulder slope, and this line right here will be my chest line. Now on the armhole depth, I'm going to measure what I have here and divide it into 2, and I'm going to mark it for my midpoint. So I'm going to go in by half of an inch at the midpoint, and after that on the chest line, I'm going to measure my bust measurement divided by 4 and mark it. So I'm going to join the 3 points together as you see me doing. From the center at the shoulder line, I'm going to go in by 3 inches, which is how wide I want this neckline to be, and then I'm going to come down by 3 inches for the neck depth as well. So I'm going to connect the 2 points together to give me a round neckline. The next thing we're going to do is to draw out our dart. I'm going to be doing it on the bust line, the waistline and the hip line. So now I'm going to go in by half of my nipple to nipple measurements on this line and create a point on my pattern paper. After that, I'm going to join all these points together like this with my straight ruler. Next in line is to go ahead and take in my dart at the waistline on the both sides by half of an inch. From the waistline, I'm coming down by 4 inches for the length of my dart. If you are someone who is taller, you can use 5 inches for that. So now from the bust point, I'm coming down by 1 inch to join all these points together to create my dart as you see me doing. Once you are done drafting out your dart, this is how it will look like. The next thing I want to do is to start adding my body measurement. So on the bust line, I'm going to mark my bust measurement divided by 4 here. On the waistline, I'm going to mark my waist measurement divided by 4 here, and I'm going to replace my dart intake here, which is 1 inch. So you are going to measure your dart and replace it back, and then you are going to come down to the hip line. On the hip line, I'm going to measure my hip measurement divided by 4 and mark it here as well. On the hemline, is either you measure how tight you want it to be on your body, but for me, I'm just going to remove 1 inch from the measurement I took on the hip and mark it on the hemline. That is, instead of using 10 inches that I use on my hip, I'm going to be using 9 inch on the hemline in order to produce a hip shape. So once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and join all these points from the chest line to the waistline, and from the waist to the hip, and then lastly from the hip to the hemline. After that, you're going to go ahead and cut out the front pattern. Moving ahead, the next thing is to cut out the back pattern. I already used 1.5 inch to draft out my zipper allowance, and then the next thing is to draw a starting line. I'll mark from my shoulder to bust point, and then shoulder to waist, which is 15, and then from my shoulder to my hip line, and then to the hemline, which is the length of my pencil dress. After that, I'm going to draw a line across this point with my straight ruler. For the neckline at the shoulder line, I want a high neckline, so I'm going in by 3 inches for the width. Since we already measure out the neck for the front, which is 3, and then come down by 2 inches for the depth and connect it using my curve rule. So now I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So 15 divided by 2 is equals to 7.5, and make a point. From the point here, I went down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope and then connect it into the neckline. So I went down to 7.6 inches for my armpole depth, and how I get that, I divide my bust measurement by 6 and add 1.5 inches to it. So I have 7.6 for my, then rule a straight line to meet the shoulder line. So after getting this, I'm going to rule a line across to get my chest line. After getting your chest line, you will use the same step I used for the front pattern to get your armhole curve. So now I'm going to divide my nipple to nipple measurement into 2, which is 7 divided by 2 will give me 3.5. So now from the zipper allowance here, I'm going to mark it on the bust line, the waistline, and the hip line. And I will go ahead and rule a straight line across those lines. Now for my dart intake, I'm going to measure half an inch on both sides at the waistline. From the waistline, I'm going down by 4 inches for the length of my dart like I do for the front pattern. And at the chest line here, I'm coming down by half an inch here. Then I'll go ahead and rule a line to meet the point. After that, you go ahead and join all these points together with my ruler to give me my back dart. Actually, the back dart is longer at the top than the front dart. That's all for the dart. Now the next thing to do is to start placing all my body measurements. I'm going to mark my bust measurement on the bust line, my waist measurement, and I'm going to replace my dart intake here and replace it back. On my hip line, I'm going to mark my hip measurements, and on the hemline, I remove 1 inches from my hip measurements and mark. So I will go ahead and connect all these points together. From the waistline here, I'm going to draw the waist into the zipper allowance. Now at the zipper allowance on the end of the waistline here, I'm going in by 1 inches to avoid the bulginess that you normally have at the back after fixing your zipper. After doing that, connect a straight line to meet the upper part and towards the bottom part as you see me doing. So once you are through with this, you are going to cut off that place. So now I'm going to label this as the back. After that, you go ahead and cut out your back. So guys, my front and my back pattern is ready. If you put them side by side with the front, you can see how they align, and you will notice the only difference between the front and the back pattern is just the neckline and the zipper allowance at the back. So now it's time to draft this pattern into my fabrics. I place the front pattern on my fabric, which is in fold, and I had half an inch around the neckline and the shoulder. For the armhole, I did not add any stitching allowance. So now at the side, as you can see, I'm adding 1.5 inches of stitching allowance, and at the hemline, I'm adding 1 inches. Coming again, I had half an inch around the neckline, the shoulder. For the armhole, I did not add any stitching allowance. So now at the side, as you can see, I'm adding 1.5 inches of stitching allowance, and at the hemline, I'm adding 1 inch. So once you have added the stitching allowance all the way around your pattern paper on your fabric, go ahead and cut it out. Now for the back pattern, I had half an inch around the neckline and the shoulder, and at the side, I'm adding 1.5 inches, and at the hemline, I added 1 inches. For the armhole, I did not add any stitching allowance. Coming again, I did not add any stitching allowance at the armhole, but I added half an inch around the neckline, the shoulder, and at the side, I'm adding 1.5 inches, and at the hemline, I added 1 inch. And then you go ahead and cut it out as well. So guys, that's all for the drafting and cutting of our pencil dress on the pattern paper on our fabrics. Thanks for watching to the end. Don't forget to like, share and comment. If you have any question on this tutorial video you just watched, you can drop it on the comment section below and I will definitely reply to it. See you guys in my next video. Bye.